Warriors confirm 3 cast changes, plus Kuminga fined. Warriors news today, October 16th. Impact on rotation. Warriors fans, breathe. Today, the team confirmed 3 changes to the squad and even fined Kuminga. And I know how that affects our confidence. If you're tired of shallow rumors and contentless thumbnails, here's clear and direct talk. I'm going to connect the dots from the front office to the court. You will identify with each question. Who loses minutes? Who gains space? What changes in the rotation today? Let's face the pain, instability, imbalanced chemistry, and fear of a drop in performance, and bring the solution. I explain what happened, why it happened, and show the updated ideal rotation, with winners and losers and the immediate impact for tonight. Let's go together. Before jumping into winners and losers and the ideal rotation, like now and subscribe to the channel. This helps the video reach more fans and ensures you don't miss any last-minute updates. Activate the bell and comment "Rotation" with your biggest doubt about Kuminga's fine. Let's go to the breakdown. Take a deep breath with me, because the Golden State Warriors preseason ended with a victory over the Portland Trail Blazers, and despite the score, the topic that dominated the conversation was Jonathan Kuminga's first career expulsion. Yes, first expulsion. There was a second left before the break. He didn't receive the foul he expected during an infiltration. He bumped into the referee and went to the dressing room early. The next day, the bill came. A fine of $35,000 for contact considered inappropriate and for continuing to question the refereeing after the appointment. Is it heavy? But it's also the kind of episode that opens a window to understand who Kuminga is today and who he's trying to be this season. First of all, let me give you a breakdown of the chronology and why the explosion occurred. Many people saw the image in slow motion and thought the irritation was caused by a slap on the arm. Yes, there was contact, but what triggered the reaction was something else. The clip on the right ankle, that light touch from behind that unbalances the step. It's not a random detail. It's the same ankle that took Kuminga out of combat for weeks in the past. When you carry a scar like this, any repetition of the gesture lights up an immediate red light. The feeling is déjà vu of the worst kind. Again, here, the same way. And then you combine the fear of a new injury with the frustration of not hearing the whistle during the play. That's it. The pressure cooker explodes. Now, there are 2 readings here. The first is the cold one, from the rule book. Contact with the referee cannot happen. End of chat. The league fined it, the message was given, and everyone follows the dance. The second reading is less legal and more human. We saw a player who is invested, who feels real responsibility for what happens on the court, who doesn't play on autopilot. Is it competitive fire? And is it a transgression of the limit? Also, the job, the coaching staff and the group, is to transform this fire into heat that sustains, not into a flame that burns down the house itself. And this is where Steve Kerr's quote that moved the fans comes in. He said he liked the expulsion, not in the literal sense of approving the gesture itself, but of approving the energy. Guys, what the coach is saying between the lines is, I saw Kuminga present, aggressive, fighting for rebounds, running the lines with hunger. This is the JK that helps the Warriors. This matters for a simple reason. The coach-player relationship is sometimes noisy. Expectations don't always match, and in recent years it was possible to notice moments of misalignment. This preseason, the atmosphere is different. Internal speech and practice on the court point to a more mature marriage. And when the coach publicly validates the athlete's determination, he is saying, I'm with you, adjust the channel, but don't turn down the volume. From Kuminga's side, the response was in the same direction. Recognition that he feels supported, commitment not to disappoint, promise to compete in every possession. It seems simple, but it's not. It has to do with a mental key that separates the talented player from the indispensable player. And this key is called buy-in. Buying the collective idea, accepting the role of the day, understanding that protagonism is not a button that you turn on for yourself. It's something the game grants when you deliver what the team needs. Let's look at how this is appearing on the court, because concrete data also tells a story. In around 73 minutes in the preseason, Kuminga served his teammates 16 times to the basket. it, an average of 4 assists per game considering the 4 appearances, although with the minutes cut due to the expulsion against Portland. It's a number that screams evolving vision of the game. It's not that JK is going to become a point guard, nor is he asked to be, but it's proof that he's reading the creases better, finding the cut behind the marker's back, activating the shot planted in the corner. And look at him there, NDA committed 12 ball losses in the same period. In other words, there is room for polishing. There are mistakes to correct, and even so, the arrow points upwards. And where can he hurt the most? On 2 fronts that match the Warriors' framework. The first is without the ball. Move without stopping. Cut at the right time. Step into the paint when the defense sticks to Curry 2 steps behind the 3-point line. This results in an aerial bridge, a layup with contact, and an offensive rebound. The second is the phase in which he commands the second unit. Then yes, with the court open and the game more vertical, you can create your own basket in isolated situations, with discretion, with spacing, without forcing hero ball. The secret is in the balance. Days of 30 minutes and 18 shots, they will exist. But the basis of his impact will always be what he has shown at his best. Energy, physique, finishing in the transition, and sense of opportunity. And speaking of a sense of opportunity, let me bring you into the conversation with a direct question, because that's how we do it here at the channel. On a scale of 1 to 100, how excited are you to see Kuminga this season? 1 is, I can't wait for them to change this guy. 100 is, I'm the biggest fan on the planet. Put the number in the comments, explain why, and let's measure our community's thermometer. Here, no one sits on the fence. The fun is to build the teams reading together, with arguments and with respect. Closing the expulsion fine chapter, 2 lessons remain. 1. Emotional control is trainable and needs to be a priority. 2. Intensity is an asset and needs to be preserved. Adjust without erasing. Educate without domesticating. The Warriors don't want a bureaucratic Kuminga, wants a dangerous Kuminga. The coaching staff knows this, the veterans know this, and, from what we saw, JK himself knows this. The next step is to make it routine. Now, shift gears. Behind-the-scenes casting. Preseason is also a pruning period. The front office cut some training camp contracts, as is often the case, to adjust the roster heading into the start of the calendar. It's the least glamorous part of the process, but absolutely necessary. Exhibit 10 canceled here, dismissal there, invitation to Santa Cruz there. Typically, whoever leaves last leaves with a route mapped out for the G League team, which is a valuable extension of the Warriors' laboratory. In the midst of this back and forth, a name began to gain volume in conversation. LJ Cryer. If you followed the friendly match in the last quarter, you know what I'm talking about. Coolness to kill the pitch of the moment, the posture of a veteran in a freshman body, that kind of confidence that is not empty. It is supported by foundation. During his NCAA years, Baylor and Houston, strong programs, defensive by nature, he shaped himself as a guard who doesn't shy away from contact, who understands help coverage, who buys into the team's rules. And, of course, it kicks. At Warriors, whoever shoots efficiently always has a real chance of finding minutes. Okay, but isn't the point guard rotation full? It's embedded, but there is situational space. Injuries happen, form curves go up and down, and Kerr's system constantly needs people capable of punishing from the perimeter when the attack collapses on Curry. If the commission believes that Cryer can hold on for a few minutes without compromising, and there is a public sign that the staff sees him as a worthy competitor, then you can imagine a path forward. What does this mean on papers? Maybe a change in the Exhibit 10 contract to a type of bond that allows you to move between the NBA and Santa Cruz with more flexibility, maybe a direct competition for a two-way spot. And when it comes to disputes, names like Jackson Rowe naturally enter the debate because they occupy the same type of seat on the bus, that of the project under development, with potential, but which needs to prove its immediate fit. Pat Spencer? It's that case that adds locker room, adds training, adds physicality, is missed when the series heats up. Alex Tui, long-term prospect. It's not a simple equation. and that's why the preseason exists, to answer questions before they count wins and losses. If you ask me what caught my attention most about Cryer in this short clip, I'll tell you three things. First, the timing to present yourself in the passing line. In a team that thrives on cuts and readings, appearing in the right space at the right time is worth its weight in gold. Second, the pulse on the big moment pitch. There are players who need 5 balls in the same area to calibrate. There are players who come in, breathe, and execute. Cryer appears to be of the second type. Third, team defensive discipline. He's not going to become a stopper on the perimeter just because he wants to, but knowing where to be, when to close the baseline, and when to top block the shot from the corner, that's already enough minutes. And minutes become confidence. Confidence becomes belonging. And you, if you had to choose today between JR and LJ to occupy a final perimeter spot in this Warriors squad, which would you go for? And write JR or LJ in the comments with your argument. Nobody is canceling anyone here. We are thinking of the cast as putting together a puzzle. Right piece, right place, right time. Returning to the central figure of the video, because everything is connected. What LJ Cryer does or doesn't do speaks directly to Kuminga's trajectory. This is because the more the Warriors have reliable specialists around, the more JK can operate in what is his natural advantage, attacking space with strength, fighting for second chances, doubling the volume of transitions, and, a point that excites me, making the opposing defense think twice before sending help early to Curry or Draymond. Kuminga doesn't need to become a maestro with the ball all the time. It needs to become inevitable at key moments. If the court is stretched by punishing shooters, this inevitability appears. If the bench has guards who handle the pick and roll with sobriety, this inevitability becomes even clearer. But what about the fine line between energy and lack of control? Excellent question. The antidote to excess is not apathy, is the method. And method for Kuminga can be as simple as 3 checkpoints before each possession. 1. What is my matchup and where is its weak point? 2. If I get the ball, what is the first read? Strong hand inside, backdoor from the winger on the weak side, or handoff to the kicker. 3. If the play breaks down, what is the plan B that keeps the attack flowing? High throw-in, ghost screen, 45-degree cut. You don't need 20 playbook pages to stay on track. You need habits repeated until they become reflex. And the Warriors, whether you like the system more or less, is a place that rewards right reflexes. Another layer worth bringing, rebound. Kerr's comment about activity and rebounding is not unrelated. How many times last season did we see the team suffer on nights when the 3-ball didn't fall? In games like this, extra possession is as valuable as 3-pointers. If Kuminga turns 2 offensive rebounds a night into 4 easy points or 2 free throws, that in itself changes the math of the game. Add to that 1 or 2 assists resulting from a defensive collapse when he dives into the paint, and you have 6 to 8 points generated without having to force 10 isolations. It's simple engineering, high workload, simple decisions, big impact. And the defense? It matters just as much. Kuminga has the body and wingspan to be that noise defender, the guy who arrives in a closeout and takes the air out of the shot, who changes trays with presence, who accepts the challenge of staying on an island for 5 minutes against a scoring winger without asking for help. If he stabilizes his focus on help rotations and improves his hand discipline a little, avoiding late touches that turn into silly fouls, he becomes one of those players who closes the room. It's the kind of thing that doesn't appear in the box score, but appears in the result. Now, let me tell you how I see the work as a whole, to tie it together. The preseason showed a Warriors more aware of what they need to be to compete. The squad mixes veterans who have been through all scenarios with young people who are eager to prove that they can play in big games. The technical committee, after a turbulent year, seems to have recovered a common language. The front office wisely tinkers around the edges, and at the center of some of the most sensitive decisions is Kuminga. The expulsion was a snap, the fine, a reminder, the coach's public support, a vote of confidence. Now the regular season is the proof. You can't edit it, you can't upload it the next day. It's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, travel, training, adjustment, and again. That's where the more mature version of JK needs to appear. The one that plays with flame, but with a headlight, who accelerates, but knows how to brake, who attacks, but listens to the game. If you enjoyed this chat, you already know the ritual. Subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a like so the algorithm delivers warriors to those who like warriors, and share with that friend who only comments when things go wrong. Send this video to him before the first back-to-back to see if we don't start the conversation in the right way. Here the coverage is daily, frank, and with the door open to fundamental disagreements. And of course, tell me in the comments, what is your excitement scale for Kuminga from 1 to 100? And who would you keep in a final perimeter spot, JR or LJ? I'll go through the comments tonight to answer the best arguments. To close, 3 commitments that I want to make with you about what we will observe in the first weeks of the season, especially in the Kuminga section. Use without the ball. How many easy baskets per game does he score just by cutting and occupying the dunker spot when Curry draws 2? This does not depend on anyone giving him the ball. It depends on reading and time. Decision-making. With each touch, what happens in the first 2 seconds? Correct pass, infiltration with a real advantage, or shot within the plan? 2 seconds count a lot in a high-tempo offense. Defensive discipline, fewer frustrated fouls, more active hands in the passing lane, more contestation without jumping on the first fake. Is it detail? But detail that changes possession, that changes partial, that changes game. If these 3 indicators are positive, the fine and expulsion become a footnote in a year of progress. If they aren't, the conversation returns to the table, and it will return here on the channel, because that's why we're together, to analyze with a magnifying glass, without losing the pleasure of the game. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Tomorrow there's a new video, and at the opening of the season we'll meet live to watch it together. Until then, calm heart, clear mind, and that old greeting. Let's go Dubs. And now, before closing the locker room door, if you want to understand the why behind each rotation, each adjustment, and each run Kuminga makes towards the table, you need to marathon our Warriors analytics. There I break down shooting maps, points per possession, impact per alignment, high-performance lineups, and clutch tendencies, all chewed up straight to the point so you can predict the next game before it happens. Click on the Warriors Analytics playlist and come with me now. Start with the key episodes, Kuminga without the ball, cuts, offensive rebounds, and how this doubles the second team's rating. Don't just watch, participate in the comments with your number on the excitement scale and your choice JR or LJ. In each video, I bring the data, you bring the debate, and together we transform opinion into game reading. Warriors Analytics go. Press play, turn on notifications, and dive into the series that will boost your basketball vision. Let's go Dubs!